It is finally time to head back outside of the garden to see how everything is looking. It has actually been 2 weeks since we moved everything out of the AC Infinity Grow tents because I forgot to come out the first week to get some footage. That is alright though, as it will make the growth look even more impressive in this video. Starting out by the back porch again, you can see that we have a little fountain set up now with the round black tub that was just sitting here empty last time. The wood slab on top holds just enough water for the pollinators to be able to drink without drowning, and also lets some smaller birds take a bath in it as well, which is pretty awesome to watch when it happens. The sunflowers have jumped up to about 4 feet tall already, which is an incredible amount of growth for 2 weeks. We have also been placing straw on top of all the beds as a way to hold moisture in the soil, but we will talk more about that later. You can see that the cilantro on both ends of the bed are flowering like crazy, and all of the nasturtiums are doing great and also starting to flower. The marigolds in the old wash sink are only doing okay, but that is pretty typical for anything that we try growing in there, as there just isn't that much soil mass, and it gets very warm and dries out pretty quickly. Looking closer at this area, you can get a decent look at the little pond and fountain, as well as the various succulents and flowers that we have set up around it. We always like having some kind of moving water in the garden, even if it is something small like this. We find the sound calming, and it also helps to keep the water from going stagnant. Getting a little closer to the planter that is up against the fence, you can get a better look at the cilantro that has gone to flower, as well as some of the many zinnias that we had going in the grow tent. I really like the purple one there in the center, and it also really brings in the bees. The nasturtium flowers that have shown up already are hiding in the leaves, but they will throw out more runners as the summer goes on, and we will see more and more of these flowers in the garden, which is why we planted so many of them. It may end up being too many, but only time will tell. Finally, here is that sink full of marigolds, and you can see that we have also tucked some straw over the soil to help keep the moisture retained here. It will also help once the plants get a little bigger and their own foliage starts to cover the soil as well. They are healthy looking so far, but the growth is just a bit slow here at the beginning. Moving over into the small grassy area that we still have back here, and you can see that the wisteria has pretty much finished its first round of flowering, though we should get another small round of flowers in a few weeks. After that though, it will be done for the season, and we won't see any more flowers from it until next year. You can see those huge sunflowers on the right side of the grassy area, and then along the back you can see the ones that we planted a bit later so that their flowers will be staggered out a bit. We also let the grass and clover get pretty tall before we mow it, as the pollinators really like clover flowers, and the longer grass also helps to keep the soil under it moist as well. From there, we are going to look out and across the rest of the backyard, and you can get a preview of some of the growth happening back in this area. At the end of the video, we are also going to be taking a peek inside of the chicken coop to see how the little velociraptors are doing in their new digs. We are going to move over to the large in-ground bed where a lot of the flowers ended up. That dahlia in the front corner is just kind of hanging out, not doing much, but the flowers are pretty. Everything else is definitely getting more established, and we haven't seen a lot of pest damage other than to the poor Kiss Me Over the Garden gate along the back. One of them is getting eaten pretty badly already, and we think that it is grasshoppers doing it. You can see all of the straw that we have put down here, and it is a couple of inches deep all the way across. The problem with using straw as a cover on garden beds like this is that once you start watering the plants, the straw is going to start sprouting a lot. It is just the nature of straw, as they never get all of the seed heads out of it. You will need to weed the sprouts out of the beds for a couple of weeks, but eventually all of the sprouts will be finished up, and you can just enjoy the moisture being held in. Bees absolutely love lavender, and that is one of the reasons that we have so much of it around the house, both in the front and backyard. The main reason that we planted all of these new flowers and why we are trying to add in more water is that will help to bring in all kinds of beneficial insects. We have already seen tons of pollinators, ladybugs, dragonflies, and praying mantis, and the garden is just getting going, not to mention all of the finches, scrub jays, and hummingbirds that are visiting as well, and we just feel really good about how this is going so far. Moving along to the next couple of beds along the fence, and you can see that we have another batch of nasturtiums going crazy at the end, trying to crowd out the tomato that is right next to it. That should be less of a problem in the coming weeks, as the tomato will start to take off and grow up and above the flowers, while the nasturtiums will end up flopping and cascading over the edge. From left to right, we have a jelly bean cherry tomato with one of our many basil plants next to it in the square bed. In the wider bed, we have a random volunteer that popped up on its own this spring, with the strawberry that we got from our neighbor in the middle. On the right is a super sweet 100 cherry tomato with the nasturtiums on the end. Next up is the carrot bed, and these have absolutely exploded in the last 2 weeks. If you remember the last time that we looked at these, they were small and the growth was patchy, but now they have completely filled out this bed and are really starting to get bushy. Carrots want a considerable amount of water to grow to their full potential, especially when the bed is this full of them. One thing that we have to watch out for every year with carrots is aphids, as they love to hide in all of this growth. In the next set of beds, we are looking at another super sweet 100 cherry tomato, another lonely strawberry plant, and a beefsteak slicing tomato, followed by even more nasturtiums. In the next bed, we have another basil plant, along with a honeycomb cherry tomato. Next up, there is a brandy wine slicing tomato, along with one of our purple basil. We always think that we have planted enough basil to be able to dry some or make pesto, but we always end up eating it in our daily meals, which I am not mad about. This bed is pretty full already, with a tomatillo, mammoth basil, and then a beefsteak slicing tomato on the left end. There are a couple of volunteer milkweed, along with a big rainbow tomato in the middle. After that is a beefsteak slicing tomato, with several delicata squash on the far side that are going to get trained up the fence panels above them. After that is a really pretty one that we have not grown before, and this is a butterfly weed, or orange milkweed. This is the first time that we have ever grown this one, and I love the flowers on it. Unfortunately, we have never had any monarchs show up in the yard no matter how much milkweed we grow, but the swallowtails do love this as well. As with most milkweed, it will probably get pretty ugly once the flowers die off, so we will likely be cutting this one back at some point in the future. In the next bed, we are looking at a Cherokee purple tomato, which is actually my favorite variety. In the middle is another big rainbow, followed by another honeycomb. Along both sides down here, we have a bunch of cucumber plants, which will get trained up the fence panels as they grow. We are curious to see how both these and the tomato do as time goes on, as this could get pretty crowded. Now we get to these two beds, and I am going to say it, we planted too many snap peas. These went in super late, and we honestly didn't expect them to do anything, but man, were we wrong. These things are absolutely exploding, and they are already covered in flowers that will soon be snap peas. They will end up getting pulled out in a few weeks probably, but I have to say that these things have really impressed me with the wild amount of growth that we have already seen. Looking up the center from the side, and you can see all of the zucchini plants that are in the middle of the closest bed. In the far bed, we have the same kind of setup, but those are yellow squash instead. These are some of our favorite veggies to cook with, so hopefully they will produce a lot. Along the back side of both beds are a bunch of green beans, and it looks like these are also going to do really well. Moving over to the in-ground beds by the chicken coop, you can see that these plants are taking a little longer to get going. We have a Cherokee purple, a big rainbow, a brandywine, another Cherokee purple, and then a beefsteak. You can also see that we haven't weeded this bed yet, and there are a ton of sprouts coming up. We will have to deal with them eventually, but they are fine for now. In the final bed, we have another super sweet 100, a honeycomb, and then another beefsteak tomato. There is also another flower and a basil plant at the end. This area doesn't get full day sun, and the soil has a bit more clay in it than the other beds that we have set up. These should catch up eventually with everything else, but for now they are just kind of doing their own thing, working on their roots. With all of the plants out of the way, let's take a look at the little peepinins in their coop to see how they are doing. As you can see, we just moved their bin directly in here and have cut a hole into it so that they can go in and out of it whenever they feel the need to. They are super funny still, and very much still chicks and not chickens. Soon enough, they will start making actual chicken sounds instead of the soft peeps that they do now, but it is just fun to see them growing and doing their own thing. A big thank you to AC Infinity for supporting the channel, and if you want to check out any of the gear that we use to grow these seedlings, or any of their other gear for yourself, click on the link to their website in the description or pinned comment down below, and make sure to use the discount code GEEKS at checkout to receive 10% off your entire order.